Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 472. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Brian. What's up, Brian?
What's up?
And that's the Master Regenerator. And Phil. What's up, Phil?
Hello.
Nice cat. All right, what's up, Daniel?
Hi.
Mike D.
There you go.
Freshly back from vacation and feeling great. How you doing?
Yeah, I saw, man. Great pictures. I want to see all of them later, man. All right, so I don't know if you saw all my videos today, Mike D, but I saw Death in Heaven twice, and I couldn't stand it. I hated it. Yeah, really bad. But I want to hear what you thought of it first. I'll start with you.
Well, I guess like if it's not retreading over stuff that you've already covered,
You could retread it, okay.
well, give me some things that you didn't like about it, because I'm kind of like, honestly, I don't really know what to think of it. I mean, I didn't not. It's not that I didn't like it. I thought there were some things in there that kind of had me scratching my head, but I thought it was entertaining.
I didn't like how they made the Cybermen stupid, like stupider than they've ever been, where you could just talk them to death as a companion, and their databases are wrong. And then they did that whole thing with Clara being the doctor, putting her show in the credits. That was just not funny and not cool and stupid. I didn't like it that the unit got to TARDIS so easily, which Bill explained it to me already, that it wasn't in the Nether Sphere, it was in another area. But I liked Missy a lot, but who's this? Oh, it's in it. I liked Missy a lot. I thought she was funny and everything, but I had a hard time with Moffat. Like, the guy didn't want to have the Master be equal to the Doctor, but then he winds up making the Master better than the Doctor, like kicking his butt, just about. So that just blew my mind. And it kind of blew my mind that why create the Cybermen in the first place to do all this if you're going to hand over the whole entire army to him? It makes no sense. If she's the Master, she's the Master. She's the ruler, she's the head. She wouldn't be a servant to anybody. So, like, I'm having a hard time with that, even though, you know, she wanted to be friends again and stuff. I'm having a real hard time with the purpose of the episode. If, you know, Danny Pink died, and then the Brigadier I felt was tasteless. I really wasn't happy that they did that at all for one story, like a plot to bring the Brigadier back in that way. I was having a hard time with that. I was having a hard time with the lion, the controlling, the Clara being like 2 years old. I'm really done with that. I'm done with Clara having any type of control over anything. And I'm just sick to death of Clara. I'm pissed that Danny Pink died. I'm pissed that Osgood died. And then Gallifrey, she just lied. She said Gallifrey being an and it ended to me like blah. And then if you have all this death, and first of all, it's a family show. So if it's a family show, I don't think 5-year-olds want to see Cybermen coming out of the graves. And just like, if it's supposed to be a family-oriented thing, kids shouldn't see that. Like the dead all rising.
When I was 5, that would have made my day.
Okay, between you and I, back in the day when we were 5, we were watching Birds and everything else. I understand that, but this day and age, I don't think that would be cool, you know. But anyway, then you have Santa Claus. Like, you have all that death and destruction and morbid and whatever, and then you throw Santa Claus in there, and it's like,
hey,
what was he smoking when he wrote that episode?
Santa Claus is based off of Odin, so really, that's not a stretch.
All right, so I'm having a hard time that if Danny Pink was dead for 3 months or 3 weeks, he would still be on that table. Like, there. I would have a hard time with any of the dead that are dust, like the Brigadier, because how many years is he dead? That he would just have all his memories and everything and be a Cyberman?
That whole thing with the Brigadier was like really tasteless. I think you're right, because I went in looking at that and was just kind of, I mean, it wasn't offensive or anything. It was just like, you know, why even bother? It seemed tacky, you know, to throw that in like that. Yeah, I mean, is that the consensus here? I
wasn't happy with that. No.
Yeah, I mean, I see what they were trying to go for.
But we said
But-
goodbye. Like they did that already. Why?
At least he flew off to his destruction.
But
And
he didn't die. I don't think. I don't think he died. I don't think he killed
He's
himself.
already dead. I don't think that he decided to continue around as Robo-Zombie. It doesn't sound like the Brigadier to me.
But then again, the Brigadier ain't writing his own stories now, is he? Moffat is, so. I don't know,
I would have rather seen like Benton or Yates, one of those guys, show up if they had to do like a nod to like the old unit. I mean, I understand what they were doing with the Brigadier, but it's just not. That's not this show. That's one of those.
I don't know what this was.
It's not. This is one of those many times where it seems like the show's kind of gotten derailed, and it's kind of like it's drawing attention to the fact like this isn't that show that you remember watching.
Right. You realize I was so pissed with this episode that I was ready to stop watching Doctor Who forever. In fact, I was even going to be done with podcasts and YouTube and everything. I was just fed up.
Don't be silly. It's not that bad.
I was pissed.
Well, whenever you get mad, just remember, hey, Missy, you're so fine. Hey, Missy, you blow my mind. Hey, Missy.
That was pretty cool.
What? So, I mean, it didn't get better upon second view, or got worse, or okay.
It didn't get worse because it was already. I'm gonna watch it at least 10 times, but I know. I'm gonna try. What did you? I mean, did you think it made sense? Because it was really pointless to me. It was like, why create the Cybermen and then you didn't do anything with them? They didn't kill anybody. Like they just was like around. I don't understand.
It seems like the front end of the story had a lot more going on than the back end of it. You know,
the first part of it was better than the second part. The second part was just a jumbled mess. Why did Osgood have to die? I mean, that's just.
Yeah, she's definitely gone.
What was that about?
Yeah, that seemed to like especially cruel for like unneededly. And that's coming from me. I'm an asshole, and I still.
But I read what Moffat said, right? He said, I had to prove to everybody that the Master was evil. No, you didn't. We know the Master's evil. Why would you? Since when do you listen to fans all of a sudden? Like, we know the Master's evil. So why would you have to prove that? Like, you didn't need to. So he creates characters, and then he kills them. And now he's doing the opposite. Like, he's not bringing it back to life, but now he's doing it in the wrong way. Now he's killing people, but really bad. Like, this is disgusting. Like, Danny Pink, they ruined that character.
So ideas.
What's that, Mongo? Can't hear you. Mongo, can't hear you. Can't hear you.
You know?
Yeah.
I think Stephen Moffat's lost his mind. I think he's run out of ideas.
I don't know.
I don't think because isn't that between that and Sherlock? I don't know. I think he's
Sherlock's perfect compared to that.
Someone else. I think it's time.
All right. So, what did you rate it, Mike D? I didn't get your rating, and then we're going to go to everybody. Then I'm going to go to Mongo.
I would say I would.
You don't have to rate it if you don't want to rate it.
No, I can do that. I'm just trying to be honest about it. I would say it was like maybe a 7. I wasn't like, I kind of coasted through like some of it and was just kind of half paying attention and just just seemed kind of plodding in some areas. But I mean, it left me like wondering where the series is going to be going next season with things.
I don't know.
And for God's sake, kill Clara, please.
Well, now, you know what? I don't know.
I mean, who's the woman on that poster?
What poster?
No, I sent you it in a link.
Oh, you did? No.
Oh,
Where?
check that. That's really good. It's for next season.
Next season? Where did you send it to me? On Facebook?
On Google Hangouts, I think.
Oh, I'm not even in Google Hangout. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me just go back in there. All right, but what did you think, Daniel?
It was a good episode. I liked it. I don't see all these plot holes like you do. Although at the end of the thing, I did think to myself, like, what was the whole thing a dream or something? Because we saw the doctor wake up. So I'm thinking, oh, please don't let the whole thing be a dream. You know what I mean? I liked the episode, and it would be kind of crummy if it was all a dream. You know, if it was just dreaming the entire thing.
Well, I don't know about a dream, but
and also having the Brigadier back, bringing him back to the Tournament, I don't believe it. I mean, I don't. It doesn't make you believe it. I mean, unfortunately, the guy who played him is gone.
yeah,
And it's really sad, you know. And
Right?
I'm saying if you can't bring an actor back, then don't bring his character back, because it'll be kind of weird. You know what I mean?
thank you. You hit it 100%.
Just to defend it, just because no one is defending it, right? I didn't know this, but the Brigadier came back in the Sarah Jane Adventures, didn't he, right?
Yes, you did.
I didn't know that he was actually meant to meet the 10th Doctor, but then he had a stroke for real life, so he didn't get to do that. So maybe that was their way of trying to say at least he came.
I think he was supposed to be in the Suntaran stratagem or something originally.
Yeah,
With
he had
Poison
a
Sky or something.
God, yeah.
Yeah, because they did mention the Brigadier.
In Geneva, yeah.
Yeah, the 10th Doctor did mention him.
Right.
But it's like, you know, like if you can't bring back the actors, then don't bring back the character, because it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't. I mean, what are you gonna say? Like, you know, like I didn't believe that. Like, oh yeah, that's the Brigadier. He's in there. It's totally him. But I don't believe that. You know, that's just lazy writing.
Thank you.
See, I think it would have been more genuine and poignant if, like, for story's sake, you had something happen where the Brigadier, like you realize, has implemented something to help the Doctor out in the future.
Right. If they would have did
he needed
that,
something,
would have been good.
and then you could have the Doctor looking at the portrait of the Brigadier, which was in the jet, and salute, you know, the photo there or the painting. But you could have him going on, you know, saying something like, you know, good job, Alistair, or something, you know, like paying reference to the Brigadier, you know, Lethbridge Stewart, saying something like that. But I mean, him as the Cyberman, that really took me out of that story at that point. I was like, come on, seriously?
Jeanette?
freaked out. It was a bit freaky.
Yeah, I agree. You know, with what you all are saying. You know, I didn't like that they brought the Brigadier back like that. I mean, that's just nuts. And the whole, I mean, I've been asking, why did Missy choose Claire to begin with? Nobody's really,
I don't understand that
I
either.
mean, that never was really answered.
First of all, she didn't start having them meet because he met in Asylum of the Daleks, Oswin. Then in Snowman, he met her. So, like, that made no sense that she gave her the number because, like, it really wouldn't make sense. Sorry, because he wasn't a control freak, really, when it was the 11th Doctor. I don't feel that way anyway. They turned her into that with his fault. Do you agree,
Yeah.
Mikey? Or Jeanette? Do you think she was a control freak when it was the 11th Doctor?
She was written differently, of course, but
Yeah.
you know, who knows how much of that was actually due to the writers or was on purpose for the character's sake. I think they started with that character to go a different direction with her, and I think Moffat kind of got a hold of, like, the story, the overall story arc, or where he wanted to go. So they kind of, like, rewrote Clara's whole point of being involved with the series at some point there, and changed her career or her character course.
Right. Bongo?
Yeah. not staying on for another year kind of messed up the whole storyline, the whole plot.
With who? Matt Smith, you saying?
Yeah, because they kept saying, he kept saying my impossible girl, and he wanted to find out all about her and everything else. Then, in the end, it just kind of faded away.
It's like the situation with Clara. If she leaves in an episode, you're spending one episode to resolve all her story arcs for like 2 years, and it's not going to work.
On an unrelated but important note, right now, you have 2 cats in the shot, so your rating should go up like crazy on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. We have 2. What would you call them? They wouldn't be Whovians, right? They'd be. Well, I guess.
Oh, these 2, Hatshepsut, and that's Nuit.
No, I know, but what would you call them as fans of their animals?
Oh, well, I call them Hoovie cats.
Hoovie cats. Okay. Hoovie meows. Hoovie cats. Okay. Daniel?
Yeah. I think this was a good episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. I do wonder what happened to the Master, though. I'm thinking, oh my God, don't tell me that she died.
She didn't die because Moffat came out and said that she's alive and she's going to be back.
What? Oh, so she teleported away?
I freeze-framed it,
Yep.
And from what I understand, the doctor teleported her away because he held the device the wrong way, and her buttons on her jacket flashed seconds before she got hit with the Cyberman thing. And also, like Bill said, Cyberman blast doesn't blow you up like that. So, so that, Bill, I think?
It doesn't disintegrate you at all.
Right. So it could have been the discharge from her transmatting out of there, and it just hit the explosion. But I also believe that Osgood's alive because the transmat in Bad Wolf, when Rose became dust, and Captain Jack and the Ninth Doctor were looking and thought she was dead, but then in the waste they went to save her. So I think that Osgood's going to be her scientist helping the Master out.
I wish that the Cybermen's guns would make the sound effect that they used to make, like during the time of attack of the Cybermen.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Mongo, send that to me on Facebook because it won't allow me to click into that.
No clicking.
No, I can't click into it. I don't know why. So like the Nethersphere. So Danny Pink is technically still in the Nethersphere. Do you guys actually believe that Danny Pink got hit by a car being that he's a soldier and everything? That makes no sense either.
Yeah.
He's a soldier.
Cell phones bring out the inner stupidity in everybody.
Come on. That's baloney. He didn't die.
That's a fact.
That's absurd.
You want your zombie apocalypse? There it is, man.
I guess so. Janet, you really think he died from not paying attention when he's a soldier and he always has to pay attention?
Well, I was thinking too. If it was a car wreck, wouldn't there be like a thud or something, some kind of noise, not just silence?
Right. There was silence, right? Yeah, I don't believe that. Mongo?
Yeah, that was their attempted defense.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, so what did you rate it, Bill?
I rated it an 8.5.
That's right. Okay.
Oh, you liked it that much?
Yeah. It did have certain flaws, but overall it was pretty good. And damn, Missy was just so delectably evil. We need more of her.
What did you think, Bongo? What would you rate that?
I was saying this before. I don't normally criticize episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rate it a 5 out of 10. It was good at times, but then you were lost, and then at the end, just it it wasn't like it was like watching a film. Like I said before, if you go to the cinema, you want your money back. You know, you don't want that. That's not how a film ends. It's a finale, and it should have ended properly. It should not have ended like that. You know, Brigadier as well. Like if they'd used Amy or Rory, you might have got away with it because they're alive for real life anyway. Do you know?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, they get major points deducted for that Brigadier thing.
Yeah, the whole Brigadier.
Yeah. Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Listen.
a 9 for me.
A 9?
It was really good.
All right, Daniel, listen. Okay. Don't turn your back. Don't give it any energy. All right? Just don't. Just listen.
All right.
Okay? Take away all its power. Just take away all its power. Right?
Yeah.
You will not speak of it ever again.
Okay.
All right? All right. All right.
Boy.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm thinking, like, what do you wanting the series, or where are you wanting the series to go this coming next season?
When I first saw it, I thought that when he looked out the TARDIS, because I was watching it and I didn't know he saw just. I thought that it was the right code, but I thought that he destroyed Gallifrey and he just robbed Gallifrey of all technology, and I thought that's why the Doctor just started smashing stuff, you know. But then I looked at it again and it was just black, and it was like, all right, maybe it's the wrong coordinates or something. You're trying to hypnotize me now. I see that.
Yeah, because you say that, you thought that it was Gallifrey but destroyed, right? I remember you saying that, and that's why he smashed the console. I thought it was just like an empty barren planet.
He gave the wrong coordinates just to piss him off.
Oh, by the way, if we haven't announced it, we all were correct when we were theorizing about the fact that the Master is going to be the key to the Doctor finding Gallifrey. So
Yes.
There's some legs to that whole story about the Time Lords using the Master.
And
to use the Doctor.
we also called that Missy was the Master and had a TARDIS way back when. So.
Yeah, I called that back during Deep Breath. In fact, I called that on the pre-release of Deep Breath. But as far as Missy is concerned, we definitely should get some more of her. She's been a really good incarnation of the Master. So
I like her.
Yeah,
I agree.
She's a keeper, but
yeah,
bring back Osgood. I hope.
I see some Anthony Ainley in that.
Osgood.
Yeah, I saw it too. As far as
Osgood.
Right.
You know, it would have made it even better if after she shot Osgood, she started humming "Another One Bites the Dust."
Oh my God.
That's bad. Yeah, I know. That would have been funny too, but man, that's bad. I think Osgood's going to be around.
I think it would have been better if she blew away Clara and they started playing a Celebration by Kool and the Gang, because I would have been down for that.
Well, what I wanted to do at the end of the episode was have Missy get shot dead by the Brigadier cyborg thing, and then when the Doctor reaches over and he pulls off her mask, and lo and behold, that's not Missy, it's Clara. That would have been just absolutely beautiful.
Clara's going to appear again, but I don't want to hear no control freak thing. I'm tired of that dude control thing, because I just...
Clara appears. All that I want to hear after she's on screen, and the same with Osgood, is exterminate. And then, nice little X-ray shot of her, and she collapses into a painful heap.
All right.
I want to see the series kind of get back on track a little bit. It's kind of like getting a little. Well, I don't know about that. I like dark, but I mean it's kind of getting a little.
At least it's not 7.
Not what?
I had posed a question in one of my videos. I said, "What Doctor would you want to save? Which Doctor would you want to save you?" And I said that, judging by the 12th Doctor, there's death everywhere. Like, he just hardly saves anybody. So I wouldn't want the 12th Doctor to save me, because I'd be dead in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but look at Doctor Number 5. I mean, he was like
Yeah,
always
but
running around going, "Oh my!"
No, you're right about that. There was death everywhere Tegan left, but still, like, they shouldn't write Capaldi like that. Like, all these people dying like that. Like, it's too dark in that sense. He's like, oh, okay, they're dead. Like, you don't care.
But aren't we expecting that to change next season
I'm expecting it to change.
because of Capaldi having a little bit more
I hope he does
involvement with
that.
the character? We
And,
think.
and where's Murray Gold? I didn't hear no massive soundtracks. In this, I think that took a backseat to soundtracks.
I'd rather have a radiophonic workshop anyway.
Well, where was Murray Gold? There was nothing outstanding in his work this year.
Who cares? There's nothing outstanding about Murray Gold. Let's get the
I
radiophonic
like Murray
workshop
Gold.
in.
I like Murray Gold, but this year was just he took a vacation or something. I don't know. Oh, he was there, but
Makes you
hopefully they change the beginning because I'm tired of that.
Yeah, that cheap ass looking like.
The music is just cringe.
That's a bit of a.
The effect is doable, but the music needs to go.
Music is terrible.
The music, what they've done, is terrible.
Music is
It's clunky.
terrible.
It's too clunky.
It needs to be. It's terrible.
The Christmas special might change.
No, I'm sorry.
You know what we should do? We should do a video edit. Let's take the Tom Baker intro, but instead of Tom Baker's face, let's throw in Peter Capaldi's. Let's shoot that to them and say, here, use this. It works.
All I would do is I would superimpose Missy and Trial of the Time and say, oh, yeah, I just borrowed the key value. Thanks. Because, wait, the Valyard should be around helping Missy out because he has the...
That's the thing, though. She wouldn't have to talk to the Valyard. Remember, the Master had a good copy.
That's right. That's right.
The Master didn't use the Valyard to get in.
But the Valyard should be alive still. And the Valyard's something connected to the Doctor, so...
Do you think we'll see the Valyard?
Something very loose.
I mean, we're talking about the Matrix with Gallifrey. That's what that whole Nethersphere was, right? The Matrix. The
Mongo had a question there. He said, "I think we're going to see the Valyard."
What happened, Mongo? Absolutely. Next year.
Wow. You don't think Capaldi
right
was
after the Master?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be cool.
No.
Next finale.
Okay, no incarnation that you're going to see was the Valyard, because go back to Trial of a Time Lord, the Valyard was not the Doctor. This is the mistake that everyone makes. The Valyard was the Doctor in a sense, but not in the sense of a form into which he'd ever regenerate. He was a distillation of dark aspects of the Doctor between his 12th and final lives. Right. And keep in mind, they left it ambiguous. They didn't say 12 and 13. They said between 12 and final.
I know that. Well, I expect to see the Valyard.
And this being was basically given life by the High Council, and then the High Council offered him the Doctor's regenerations if he could get him convicted. So it's really not the Doctor.
Well, I expect to see the Valyard in the Series 9 finale.
How would they?
He's the one that helped Missy. I don't know.
Like,
no, that wouldn't be the case. Remember that the Master and the Valyard were enemies. In fact, the Master hated the Valyard even more because with the Doctor, he understood that he had
helping them.
Yeah, but with the Valyard, he literally feared the Valyard.
Well, do you think
so? There would be no cooperation.
Do you think they could have brought in the Valyard in Trenzalore? No? Like, all the incarnations were there, and they could have brought Valyard
I think Nick Frost is from Trenzalore, because it was Christmas Town. So I think he's a resident of Trenzalore. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? You should be back here. You were gone for, you were there for 1,000 years. Now you need to come back to Trenzalore.
That would be mad.
Oh, and guess who else was on Trenzalore? The 11th Doctor. Maybe you can bump into him.
Here we go.
Oh, gods, no, not yet.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Brian, I'm sorry, man. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Did you see it?
Yes.
Go ahead. You got the floor.
I liked the episode.
Would you rate it?
I'd give it a 6.
Okay, 6 is passing, right?
That's a fair result.
That's a fair. That's fair.
Speaking of 6, I'd like to see if we're going to do any, doctor crosses. I'd like to see the 12th and the 6th Doctor meet each other.
The only thing I had to complain with was the Brigadier thing. That's the only thing I had to complain about.
I'm making a list of things to complain about. But I have a series. I have a series of videos that was out today. Series. Tried to keep it like a minute, 2 minutes, but.
And
What's with the Dalek? Wait, they mentioned the Dalek camps. She's like, "Oh yeah, you want to go to the Dalek camps?" It's like, okay, we know that you're a Time Lord, and we know that you hate the Daleks because the Daleks, are the enemy of all Time Lords after what they did with the Time War. So, is that what the Master wants? Is to take out the Daleks?
I think River Song's going to have a part of the play.
Oh, River Song's absolutely coming back, seriously.
Because of the poster. That's the poster I'm trying to give you.
Oh, is that what you're trying to get me?
Yeah.
Is that with her shadow in the
Yeah.
TARDIS? I saw that.
Song, isn't it? That's River Song.
River Song is back, hopefully. Series 9.
Oh, God, no. No. Jesus Christ, that is the last character that should ever come back.
I want to
Christ,
see. No, wait. No, wait a minute. I want to see Clara in the TARDIS with the Doctor and River being there, and the TARDIS doors are being open, like they're looking out in space. I want to see Clara say, "Do as you're told," and then River blasts her out of the TARDIS. Wake up.
by the way, Joe.
Yes.
I think you're wrong about Gallifrey being totally destroyed in the
I think you're right that I'm wrong.
Because
I saw it a second time. I think you're right that I'm wrong.
I think the reason why the Doctor got angry and just smashed the console of the TARDIS is
because it wasn't there.
Because the master, because the master, even though the master told him, he gave him hope, and he was expecting it to be outside the door, and
wasn't there.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I think that it was a matter of right place, wrong time, or if not wrong time, at least lack of necessary details to jump dimensions.
You got to remember, that's his home. That's his where his family and friends are. So,
well, we're family because how does Clara?
Yeah, didn't they establish? Didn't they establish that the Doctor was married 4 times and that all 4 of his wives are dead?
That's what Clara said.
That's what Clara said.
That way, and that's baloney.
Yeah, but I understand that this wasn't in the classics before. My understanding is what Moffat was adding to Who and basically the idea is the stuff that she was spewing off was crap that the Doctor was dumb enough to tell her.
First of all,
and I do mean dumb enough. I never shared that much info with her.
The first wife was from Gallifrey, correct? Because that's Susan's grandma.
All of them were.
Wait.
Hey, hold on. Just to let you know, we're less than a minute, so we're probably going to have to start another podcast.
All right.
Let's continue.
Just wait a minute. First one was his actual wife.
The first 2 would be Gallifreyan.
Why would the first 2?
The first 2 would be Gallifreyan. Then you would have Queen Elizabeth. And then after Queen Elizabeth, you'd have River Song.
Well, who would the second one be from Gallifrey?
Someone from Gallifrey. They don't tell you.
Where did they say he was married to someone else from Gallifrey?
It's fluff. It doesn't matter. It's fluff, Joe. It's just fluff. But the important thing is what she said after the whole thing about 4 wives all deceased. 1 quote-unquote non-Gallifreyan child. That was a reference to
Jenny.
Which means, and she didn't say deceased, which means the Doctor didn't tell her deceased, which means the Doctor knows that Jenny's alive.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But she said kids, like as in more than 1 kid, and then grandkids. Well, she said grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
Grandkids.
I think she said children. But anyway, we've got less than a minute, and it's going to drop us.
So.
All right, guys, we'll be back. Take care.